Hey, Sassy Stuff. I'm Emma here with Georgia, and we're back with our series breaking down our team's season schedules. And today we're talking about Georgia and I's favorite team, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, Alabama did leave much to be desired last year. I felt like they won all the important games, all the big games, like that epic Georgia matchup, which I think will go down in history. It was very cinematic. It was some of the best football I've ever seen. Um, but you win that, and then the next week you lose to Vanderbilt, and then you have to win against LSU. You go into Death Valley and you completely destroy them. You make the fans leave. You silence Death Valley, and then you go and you lose to Oklahoma. So it was a very weird season. But you know what? We're in the post Nick Saban era. I have higher hopes this year. So let's talk about it. How are you feeling about Alabama?
Yeah, I mean, Alabama last year was like that bad boyfriend that like brings you flowers and then the next week cheats on you and makes you feel like crap. That's how it kind of felt being an Alabama fan last season. It's like you were just taking me on this roller coaster. I will say I was impressed with Kalen DeBoer last year. I think coming in after Nick Saban, it was better than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
I was expecting a lot worse. Not that Kalen DeBoer is a bad coach in any means. He's a good coach. They wouldn't have hired him if he wasn't. I was thinking like, "Oh, this is gonna be really, really bad, and we're gonna get destroyed all season." Luckily, we still had some key players that did not transfer after Nick Saban left, so I think that kinda held it together. But I also think that Kalen DeBoer was trying to find his rhythm of being a coach at Alabama, and I think he let a lot of stuff slide, trying to be nice, and that's not how you win games. You don't win by being a nice coach, and so I think that he was just trying to not step on toes, trying to figure it out, and I think this season's gonna be a lot better because I think he's established himself as, "Hey, I'm the coach now, and this is how we're gonna do things."
Yeah, and again, 9-3, schools would love to be 9-3. That would be huge for them. They make a bowl game, and we're over here like we have 18 national championships. 9-3 doesn't cut it. We make the playoffs, and it was especially embarrassing because one, losing to Vandy, that'll always stick in my heart, and two, because we didn't make the first 12-team playoff. It should have been slightly easier to make that in a way, especially because they were losing to teams they really should not have lost to, especially after key wins against Georgia and LSU. So I am expecting a lot more growth this season. Like you said, I think this is now Kalen DeBoer's team. In the spring, nobody who was on scholarship went into the portal. So I think he's building such a great atmosphere and culture there. He also has Ryan Grubb back with him, which I wish he just would have come in the first place. But he is now here. He did get fired from the NFL, but he learned a lot about defenses in the NFL. And I think that's going to make him an even stronger offensive coordinator now here in college. So I think that this team has a lot to give this year. And I'm excited to see what they do. Obviously, Georgia and I both think Alabama is going to win the national championship every single year. We think we're going to win every single game. And then we slowly get disappointed as the year goes around.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, like I said in the Texas episode, if you're not being delusional about your team, you're not a real fan. I'm
yeah.
sorry. Like, you can deep down be like, "Okay, I don't actually believe we're gonna be undefeated," but you should at least put on the face that you're gonna be undefeated, which is why I wanna dig into some of this trash talk that's going on, with these players because, recently Florida State's, quarterback said Thomas Castellanos said that, he's not worried. Alabama's not gonna beat them. They don't have Nick Saban to save him. He also said he felt like he tore up the ACC by himself for the last 2 years, which is interesting because he was benched at Boston College. Um, so I like the trash talk. I'm here for it because if you're not coming off like that for your team, then you don't come off as you believe in it. I also like it because if you're going to sit here and trash talk Alabama before your game, I know our guys are going to come out and be ready to squash you like ants. So, I'm digging the trash talk of this off season, but if I was the coaches, I'd be like, "Give me your phone. Give it to
Yeah.
me."
And that's what Nick Saban would do too, because again, this is rat poison. But the good news is that it's coming from FSU, so then Bama can use that to their advantage. I do think this will be a very interesting matchup, not just for Alabama, but for Florida State, because they had a horrendous season last year, especially coming off of a season where they maybe should have been in the playoffs. I don't think so. But a lot of people thought that they should have gotten that fourth spot in the playoffs, but it did go to Bama after beating Georgia in the SEC championship. So, I mean, FSU is going to be angry. They're still holding that grudge of not making the playoffs 2 years ago. And this is also the first game. They had a horrible season last year. So I'm excited to see what happens here because Alabama is going to be tested right up front because FSU historically has had a great program. So I'm wondering how they will be this year after having such a bad year last year.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and, this off season has been really fun for college football fans. It is a mess. I mean, social media has taken over sports, obviously. I know that. I work in we work in that, like, we work in that market. So, it's definitely crazy, but it's really fun. Um I also think that it's just like a lot of there's just been a lot of trash talk about Bama. And there always is, not that there isn't, but it's just, oh my gosh, they're over. Alabama sucks. Alabama's never going to recover. Everyone has good talent now. Alabama's not a dynasty. And I enjoyed that. I love it. Keep it coming. Keep talking trash. Give it to me. I eat it up. And I think the players eat it up. Keep talking. We love it.
Yeah, it definitely fuels the fire. And I mean, the defense, I'm not as worried about. I think the defense is going to be so strong. Kane Womack really impressed me last year with he had a very young defense, especially in the secondary, and the way he coached him up and the way they looked from moment one to that Michigan game, they were a completely different defense. He is a sensational coach. You saw moments of greatness like in the Missouri game, in the first half of the Georgia game in LSU. So this defense led under Kane Womack, I think is going to be very, very strong. My biggest question mark, and I think a lot of people's question is the offense. How will they operate this year? Obviously, Ty Simpson is probably going to be the starting quarterback. Keelan Russell and Austin Mack will be backing him up. You have great players like Jam Miller at running back, Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard at wide receiver. We have great tight ends, tackles. Like we have the talent. It didn't work so well last year, at least consistency. So I think for me as a fan, I want to see the consistency overall. And hopefully, with the strong defense, if you can get, I don't know, 21 points in a game or 24 points in a game, maybe the defense can hold off enough to where that's enough to win or this offense can just be sensational and and they put 40 up on the board every single day.
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest concerns come with offensive line. I'm not concerned about defensive at all. We have Deontay Lawson, we have Justin Jefferson, Xavier Brown, Keon Sabb, Bray Hubbard. Like our defense is gonna be what we're used to. I'm also really excited. Jalen Mbakwe, he was going to transfer. Now he's not. And I do believe he will be playing on both sides of the field, which I think will be very interesting to see a dynamic player like that. We still have Caden Proctor and Form B. But there are just some questions. Obviously, I do believe, Ty Simpson's going to be starting. I think this is going to be great. He's waited 3 years. I like the dedication. I like someone that's been able to sit and wait their turn because that's not a very common thing. We all know that I love Jam Miller. I have this amazing idea for merchandise for Jam Miller. So he needs to call me because I have to pitch him my idea for his merchandise. There are some questions, but I feel very confident going into the season as an Alabama fan, which I didn't last year. So I think it's going to be a really good season. I see us winning the SEC championship at least. We will get into this 12-team playoff this time. No doubt in my mind about that. Do I see a national championship? I hope so. We'll see once, we start playing how that's going to play out. But I do think that Alabama is going to come back and, hey, we're still that dynasty. You still need to respect us. We're still your dad.
Yeah. Always. And let's go through these games a little bit. I see best case scenario being 11-1. Going into the SEC championship, I don't think we will run the table, but I don't think it's going to be 9-3 again. But 9-3 would be my worst case scenario because I do think this team has a lot of talent. I just don't see them not making the playoffs in a 12 team um, playoff. So I think they're going to make it this year. Where will they be seated? Not sure. Only time will tell. But let's go through these games a little bit. Of course, we open at Florida State. I mean, that's a tough opener on the road. Obviously, there's been some trash talk there. I think the Tide has the edge here. The defense is going to come out strong. The offense might be a little shaky to start. So that's my question mark there. But I think this is going to be a big indicator on where the team is at the start of the year.
Yeah, I think, obviously the offense is gonna have to get rolling. I was impressed with Ty Simpson when he did come off of the bench last year, so I think he's gonna be more comfortable than we kind of expect him to, but if there's some hiccups, that won't surprise me, that won't concern me for the first game. I definitely see us winning against Florida State. I just don't think they're ready for us. I don't think they're ready for Alabama as much as they think they are, and I'll be surprised if they impress me. I'll give hats off to them, but right now I definitely think that's going to be a win.
I just think it's hard coming off of such a bad season to come out super, super strong to the level that I think Alabama will be at to start the season to really make an impact in this game. So we're going to call that one a W.
Yeah, and then of course we have UL Monroe.
I'm worried about this one.
No disrespect to UL Monroe, none at all. This will be a W. I don't know if we need to talk about this one.
Mm.
Now, I will say, if they come and make us eat our words, we will let you guys know. We are not above being wrong.
We were very humbled last year. So
We
if they want to humble us again, and I mean, we obviously saw what happened to Notre Dame with NIU. So, like, humble us, sure, but I don't see it.
I don't see it all. Then we have Wisconsin.
I mean, it's a Big Ten matchup, but I just think Alabama again has the depth. We were a little slow against them last year. It took us a couple quarters to really get into a groove, and then we eventually pulled ahead, and it was all gravy after that. And I could see something similar happening in this game. Wisconsin's a physical team, so at the end of the day, do think that's a W. And I think this UL Monroe and Wisconsin game are just going to prep, especially the offense into their bye week and then going to Georgia. This is the game I am scared about. Again, I was scared last year. I'm scared this year. Anything can happen. Kirby obviously loves losing to Alabama. He's not really great at beating them. um,
Favorite thing. Every night he's like, "Oh, I can't wait to lose against Alabama. Oh, I love it." First Nick Saban controlled me, and then I couldn't even beat the first year Kalen DeBoer coach.
yeah, it's embarrassing. So we'll see if that curse continues for him. But the good thing for Georgia is this game is at home. So this is the game I am going to hand Alabama a loss to. In my delusional fan brain, we're winning it. But if I'm being subjective, this could be a loss for Alabama right here.
We'll talk more on Georgia, obviously, in Georgia's episode. I know there's been some off-season issues with them. Um, so I am curious to see how they're going to start out the season. So I think once we get started, I'll have a more confident answer on if we're going to win or lose. But obviously, going and playing Georgia at home after we embarrassed them last year, uh, dog fans are not to be messed with.
No,
They're loud. They're obnoxious.
they bark at you.
They bark at you, and any man that looks at me goes, "Arr!" This is scary. That scares me. So, I am hoping to go to this game. Tickets are outrageous right now, but we will see if Ceci stuff can get into this game. But yes, this is definitely a possible L for Alabama.
Yeah, but then looking on the bright side, we better not lose to Vandy again. I think we're going to beat them comfortably because we will not face that embarrassment again. This is actually the game I'm most worried for because losing to Georgia is actually okay and acceptable. Losing to Vanderbilt once is embarrassing. Twice in a row, we should just like turn the cleats in and say we're done.
I forget which page said that Alabama has the most iconic thing to do is to beat Georgia and lose to Vandy again, so
Oh,
whatever. But I think we're gonna win. It's at Alabama. I am for sure going to this game. Super excited. It should be fun. Alabama fans are obnoxious just like Georgia fans, so I know they're gonna be giving a lot of crap to Vandy. I'm expecting our defense to put Diego on the ground all night.
every single play.
After last year, it definitely is gonna be a good game. Then we go to Mizzou. Mizzou's sneaky
Mhm.
last year, but I'm not concerned about Mizzou this year. They've had a lot of transfers. They've had a lot of people, leave, age out, and so I'm not concerned about Mizzou this year. We'll talk more about Mizzou on their episode, but I think they're gonna struggle this year.
Yep. And I think the same thing about Tennessee as well. I mean, losing your key quarterback. Nico's obviously on the West Coast now, along with his brother. There's been a whole controversy about that. We've done videos on it. But I just think that this team's a little disjointed now. They might not have the leader that they need. Granted, they play October 18th, so anything could happen in that time. But I think Tennessee, especially because they are coming to Alabama, you're not going to have that crazy atmosphere that Tennessee can bring. It's very, very loud in Rocky Top. It was loud watching it on the TV. I didn't mind the couple snap infractions and fumbles and everything because I was like, I get it.
Mhm.
um, but I think this year we're going to pull out a W against Tennessee.
I refuse to lose to Tennessee again. If I have to get on the field, I will.
Wake up, Mama, wake up.
I don't know what I'll do, but I refuse to lose to Tennessee again.
I know we need to smoke our cigars. Like we didn't get to do that last year. That's
I
the only
couldn't
ever time I have a cigar.
I couldn't smoke my cigar last year. What are we talking about? We had our cigars ready, and we were just like, "Throw them in the trash.
Yeah.
Throw 'em. We don't even deserve these."
Oh, well. Well, we'll get new ones this year. We're definitely gonna smoke them this year because that's gonna be a W. South Carolina. Now, this is the game I'm very worried for because 'cause we're going to South Carolina. I love Lenora Sellers. I think he's great. Shane Beamer has done fantastic things with that program. They were on playoff watch last year on that little bubble to make it in. So this could absolutely be a trap game for Alabama. Do I think they will prevail at the end? Yes. So I am calling this a win, but this could easily be a loss, which would add to like maybe that 10-2 or even 9-3 if we go back to what we're doing last year. But this game is going to be very, very interesting.
I agree. I love Shane Beamer. I love what he's doing at the program in South Carolina. I mean, they almost beat us last year. It yeah, that wasn't an easy game there. I do think we will end up winning, but South Carolina's not to be you shouldn't count them out. I definitely think that they'll have a good season this year. Do I think they'll get to the playoffs? No. But I do think that they'll have a pretty good season. I don't see us losing, but yeah, they're a sneaky team. It could be a trap game. We could, especially if we beat Tennessee. If we beat Tennessee, kids these days are going to be on a high
Yeah.
and they're going to walk into that South Carolina game thinking, this is going to be a piece of cake game. And that's where you fall into that trap.
Yeah, and that's where Kalen DeBoer comes in to really center them because that's the greatness of Nick Saban is he'd never let any of those wins go to his players' head. He told them they were awful and they needed to work harder and they suck. And why are you smiling? And you know what? It worked.
Cigar and then go watch film because you're trash.
Exactly, exactly, and I love it. But then, of course, we have LSU coming up. This game again, it's really going to depend on how LSU comes out in this season. But this could be a loss as well. Granted, it is at Bryant Denny, so I'm leaning a little bit more towards Alabama winning. But LSU, I mean, they've had Alabama's number plenty of times, and they could absolutely win this game. But I'm thinking with the home field advantage that I would call call this a win for Alabama. But LSU is one of those rivalry teams that you never know what's going to happen.
I personally am not concerned about the LSU game. I do think they'll be angry. We did walk into Death Valley and embarrass them. I think they'll want to do the same, but just from keeping my eye on things, I'm not I'm not concerned about Brian Kelly. I don't know how much I trust his vision, and I
Yeah,
think if he does not perform well this season, he will be fired.
I agree. So we'll see. I think he just needs I don't know. He needs to be 10-2, I think, to because LSU is a team that should be making that 12-team playoff or at least be in the conversation, a serious conversation for that playoff. So I mean, we're gonna see with him, but I do think Alabama will pull out a win there. I think they'll pull out a win against Oklahoma. They're not gonna want to feel that pain again either. Um, and then of course we have Eastern Illinois, which is our cupcake game that they don't even play on ESPN. You got to go to ESPN Plus just to get that final tune up right before we have to go to Jordan O'Hare where scary, scary things happen.
Yeah, Auburn, I obviously, we love the Iron Bowl, but every year it's scary. You don't know what's gonna happen. For some reason, I feel like there's some type of drug they're doing behind the scenes because they will have such a horrible season, and then they come out and play Alabama, and they look like
The national
the
champion.
national champion, and it pisses me off every single year because I think I'm gonna have a peaceful little game and just go
Eating your Thanksgiving leftovers.
my Thanksgiving leftovers, but I'm always sick to my stomach. I
Mhm.
can't eat anything, and I bite my hand all game because I'm so nervous. I do think we'll win, but anything can happen there. It's haunted, as Nick Saban has said, and I don't like playing there. I don't like it. If
I
I could somehow rig the system that we played every single game at Bryant-Denny or go back to the original Iron Bowl and play it at Birmingham,
yeah.
I would do that because I don't like going to Auburn.
No, Jordan O'Hare is not a happy place for Alabama fans. Lots of bad things have happened there. Good things have happened there too, but there's been a lot of weird things that happen in that place. So I will call this a win. I think Hugh Freeze is going to be developing a great team next year, but I think they're still going to be in that growth period. I don't know if they're going to be able to get over the edge next year. We will talk about them later this week. But yeah, so I am ending Alabama season at a hopeful 11-1, with that one loss being to Georgia because it will be a home game. However, I could see them dropping at least one, if not two more games. And those games would be, I think, to South Carolina because we are going there. And then my other one would be LSU if we did drop another game. So what about you?
I have us 11-1 with possible against losing against Georgia and then possibly 10-2 losing against Tennessee.
But you know what that means? That means we make the playoffs.
Yeah, not worried
No
about that.
questions asked.
Now, yeah, no questions asked. We'll be fine. No debate, no crying. It'll be a good year.
It'll be
We're
a good selection Sunday. I won't have to pull my hair out waiting.
yes, yeah. I still remember where I was. I still remember what was going on. So yeah, I'm giving us 10-2, hopeful 11-1, even better 12-0.
I still have beef against Clemson for winning at the last second. I'm like, either you could have won it big or you could have just lost, and we would have been the 9-3 team in there. But
Mm.
oh well.
Yeah, I mean, it would have made everyone angry either way.
I
So
would have.
it's fine. It's good. It is a new season. It's gonna be a good season. We are so excited. Let us know what you think about Alabama's season coming up. We know there's a lot of Alabama haters in there. Let us know in the comments how much you hate them, um, what what their season is gonna look like, and what you're expecting from them. And we are super excited to get it started. And y'all have a great day, and we'll see you on the Auburn episode.